Hi, welcome to Caribou Country Lifestyle. My name is Cheryl. Today I'm in the beginning stages of doing some spaghetti sauce, and this is a meat spaghetti sauce. And so I just wanted to show you what I have started so far and kind of just going through the steps. And this spaghetti sauce, I will be pressure canning. So I'm just going to show you what I've done so far. Okay, so I filled up my electric roaster with a variety of tomatoes, and I'm just putting tomatoes in as they ripen. I just want to show you. Look at that. This is the indigo rose tomato, but look at that inside, like that. But on the outside, it's so black, and the inside, it is red. And I have quite a variety of tomatoes that obviously if you had seen my last video where I was picking my tomatoes, they're ripening. Here in the garage, I have my tomatoes. There are some that are starting to blush, and I take those out of these containers. Once I see that they're starting to blush, I have some more over here. Once I see that they're starting to blush, I take them over to here in my living room in the same window that I am curing all my squashes, and I stick my tomatoes on the windowsill to get them to ripen. Also, I have one of those candy roaster squashes. I have that in the oven, and I'm roasting that up as well. Why I'm roasting up one of those candy roaster squashes is I am going to be adding that into my spaghetti sauce. So there will be hamburger, which my son has given me some elk hamburger. He was out hunting and got an elk. So I'm putting elk hamburger into the sauce. Elk is absolutely wonderful. And then I'll have all my tomatoes that I'm going to have roasting. So I'm going to turn this on to 300. So those will be roasting in my electric roaster. And then I have the candy roaster squash baking in the oven to get that ready. And I still have to chop up some onions and celery and peppers and that I'm going to also be putting into my spaghetti sauce. So I just wanted to bring you along through the stages of what we're doing to make this spaghetti sauce. So my tomatoes are done roasting now, and I'm just putting them through a food mill to get the seeds and the skins from the tomatoes. I mean, I know a lot of people that have electric food mills, but I'm okay. My arms need the exercise. That's what I'm telling myself. This is what I used when I made canned tomato soup. So I did a homemade tomato soup with the first batch of tomatoes that I processed as they were ripening. And I had to pressure can those as well. And I ended up getting, from the first batch of tomatoes, I ended up getting 8 pints of tomato soup. And I didn't put any cream in it. I thickened it with like a flour, a roux, as they call it. And I used white rice flour to thicken it, and I also used my son's, it's a vegan butter that we use. So I'm about halfway through putting these tomatoes through the food mill, and I've almost got 8 cups of tomatoes that I have put through, and I still have a little bit more to put through it. Also here I have scooped out the flesh from that candy roaster squash, and then I will be adding that to the tomatoes. I'll be putting it back into the roaster. I'm cooking my hamburger in the oven. Why I'm cooking it in the oven is then I can do this while that hamburger is cooking in the oven. And then I just have to add that to the sauce, and I'll be adding that candy roaster squash, the flesh to it that I scooped out, and then I'll be adding all my other vegetables to it once I get it, and I'll be putting it back into my electric roaster and cooking it furthermore until it's finished. Okay, so I have everything back in my electric roaster, and now I'm just added all my ingredients. So I ended up chopping up 1 large onion, and I also put in 1 pepper chopped up. I have probably about 3 stalks of celery chopped up, 5 cloves of garlic, and I just put in a 1/4 cup of brown sugar. I also put in 3 tablespoons of dried parsley, 2 tablespoons of oregano, and 2 teaspoons of salt, just because I'm not exactly sure if I need, it said 4 teaspoons, but I put in 2 teaspoons and a good dose of some fresh ground pepper. Now I'm just have this set at 225, and I'm just going to let it simmer now. And I've also kept some of the tomato juice. I just ran it through a strainer to keep the seeds out and any pulp that might have been in there. And I'm keeping this, and if I need to add this tomato juice that I saved, then I will add it as I'm stirring it. And right now, I don't know, it seems like it's a little bit thick, but it's looking pretty good. I got lots of good vegetables. I put that candy roaster squash in it too, so it's got a few little chunks of that. But I think as it simmers and as I stir it, it'll break down. So I'm just gonna let that simmer for an hour, maybe 2 hours. And we'll come back when it's time, just before we're about to put this through the pressure canner. Okay, well, we've got our sauce all ready, and now I'm gonna start ladling it into the jars. I've got my pressure canner up here as well. This is a Presto pressure canner. My husband actually purchased this because a while ago, probably about, I would say at least 10 years ago, he decided that we needed to start taking things more seriously and preserving more instead of having to rely on the grocery stores, because you never would know when the poop's gonna hit the fan. That's what he would say. And at that time, it was funny because he was watching The Walking Dead, and all of a sudden he started getting all these ideas, and I joked with him, and I'm like, you know, zombies aren't real, right? And he was like, I know. So I have really enjoyed working with the pressure canner. I make antipasta, and I have to use a pressure canner for that. And like I was saying before, I've made tomato soup, and I use the pressure canner for that. And now I'm doing this spaghetti sauce. And I checked it out. I did end up adding more salt to it, so, which is, you know, you just never know. I just didn't want to put too much in to start and then have to, how do you fix it after it's too salty? It's pretty hard. Like, it's not like when I made that potato and leek soup, the potatoes absorb a lot of that salt. And okay, I'm gonna pay attention to what I'm doing here. I want this about oh, that's way too much. About 1/2 inch headspace. So I'm just gonna dump this into the next jar, and then I will wipe the rim if there is anything. I'm just gonna give a little bit more of a headspace. I'll keep that spoon just in case. So I have 4 quarts, and I wasn't sure how much I was going to need as far as how many quarts I was going to need. I brought 4 quarts and a pint, but I think I might end up needing maybe another 2 more quarts, which would be amazing if I got 6 quarts. Okay, let's pay attention to what we're doing. I don't want to put too much in every jar. Now that's too much too. Just a smidge too much, like not much, just a titch. Just a titch. These are very technical terms that I'm using here. Just a titch too much. Yeah, I'm gonna have to get a couple more quarts, which is, like I say, okay by me. I'm always happy to have more than what I think I have. I did add a little bit of that tomato water liquid to this to kind of thin it out a little bit. But this is, I've never made spaghetti sauce before, and especially not spaghetti sauce with meat in it. I'm going to push this down. Okay. Oh, that's perfect. Okay. It smells amazing. It tastes so good. And this is the recipe out of the Bernardin Canning Preserve cookbook that I got this from. So I'm definitely going to need maybe 1 more quart. I'll go get 2, but 1 quart for sure. But I will definitely grab 2. Got 2 more quarts. So hopefully I can fill both of them. Lift this up and turn it on its side so that I can get all of this. I had this electric roaster given to me by a friend. I borrowed it from her a couple of times, and after a while she just found that I was using it more than she was. And she said, you know what, I'm just going to give this to you, but if I need to borrow it, can I borrow it? And I'm like, you betcha. And I have probably I've used this roaster for ribs, I've used it for a turkey, I've used it for my tomatoes, I've used it to make chicken stock in as well. It's absolutely wonderful. I can't even imagine how I have never had one before now. Because I just got this from her probably about 3 years ago. Okay, that one's probably too full. Yep. Definitely too full. Okay. And I don't think I'm going to fill up this pint, but you never know. So now I'm just going to get some hot water on a clean cloth, and I'm going to wipe these rims because I don't want anything to be stuck that's going to affect the seal of these lids. So I ended up getting 6 quarts and 1 pint. Just gotta wipe this a little bit better. It's kind of stuck on there. Okay. And then we'll put my lids on. Need one more lid. I got a new pack of lids out, so I knew I would need one more. Okay. Get this one. Oh, ha! What are these? I thought these were, oh, these are not, these must be gem, oh, these are gem jar lids. Okay, I need to go down and get a wide mouth lid. Now I have the right size. I actually I found some wide mouth lids at Value Village, and the boxes hadn't even been opened, and they were selling them for $1.99. Like, you would not find lids for $1.99. Okay, so I'm gonna put these down, and you wanna, oh my gosh, I am on a roll here. That lid won't even screw on there. You want it finger tight. I'm gonna have to get another ring. I'm getting more exercise going up and down these stairs than you would believe. I gotta throw that lid out. Okay. Back downstairs I go. I'm gonna put all these jars in here in my pressure canner. And even though I have one jar that's a pint and the rest are all quarts, I still have to do the same time as I would if I was putting in all quarts. So I'm gonna put this pint right in the middle. Okay, so I have all 6 quarts and 1 pint. And then what I want to do is I want to make sure that this arrow lines up on the arrow on the top of the lid. I want it to match with the arrow on the handle. And then I'm going to slide it over. And I'm going to turn my pot this way because the gauge is on this side. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this on high, and I'm going to wait until my pressure builds up at 10 pounds of pressure, and then we'll be able to start timing it. So at 10 pounds of pressure, I'm going to have these going for 70 minutes. It would be 60 minutes, but because it's quarts, it's going to be 70 minutes. And I only have 1 pint, so it's not going to really, that extra 10 minutes isn't going to make any difference. So I have to wait until my pressure builds up, then I'll set my timer for 70 minutes. So I will have to come back because we definitely aren't going to be able to sit here for that long. So I'm just going to sign off. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you like this video, put a like in it. And if you haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe button. Thanks for joining me. We'll talk again soon. Bye for now.